Mr. Nazir Ali, the last few days as head of SANRAL, but still in the courts. You've spent a lot of time in the courts in recent time, as well as facing protests against the e-tolls.
Sure.
Yeah. Your reflections on that?
Our reflections are very simple, is that we are in the forefront of defending government policy. SANRAL doesn't make any policy. And this issue is about how do we fund our infrastructure. And it's very unfortunate that these people who have taken us to court, including the current issue that we've got going on in the Cape High Court, yeah, none of our detractors have ever told us as to how to fund these projects or where do we make the cuts in the government expenditure to be able to fund these roads and give people free roads. There's no such thing as a free road as well, because either the user will pay for it, because if the road is full of potholes, etc., so the cost of your vehicle operating cost increases, and of course the cost of transporting goods increases. Whereas if you have a pothole-free road, all of that does reduce. So nobody who's taken us to court has the courage of the convictions to say, let's, for example, reduce the bus subsidies that we've been paying. And we pay, for instance, in Gauteng, when I say we in this case is government, subsidize buses to the tune of just under R1 billion a year. So why don't people take that subsidy away or cut it? Why don't we turn around and rearrange our arrangements on Gauteng? Every time people travel from the airport to Sandton, that ticket is subsidized by government to the tune of approximately 60 Rand per journey. So why don't we make that an economic charge, full economic charge, put on the additional 60 Rand over there, so that the government doesn't have to fund that subsidy.
Now, you are an old hand at your work as a public servant, having been at the helm of SANRAL for 17 years. There are regrets, I'm sure, lessons learned, the highs and the lows. From your experience, if you were to share it with your colleagues in the public sector, what would that be?
Look, the highs have always been the quality of our national road network, that we've grown it from about 7,000 kilometers in 1998 to the current 21,403 kilometers. And that there was a peer review done on our asset management systems, totally independent, was done by a company from Europe, under the auspices of the Association of Southern African National Roads Agencies. It's an association which has been set up under the SADC protocols, and that's where the peer, and they found us to be one of the top 5 in the world as far as our asset management systems are concerned. That, and the fact that we can assure you that you will have a national road network which is free of potholes, or that the pothole, if it does happen, to be there, that it will be taken care of within 48 hours. That's been a major high for us.
But the lesson that you share very briefly with your colleagues in the public sector?
Yeah. The lesson that I share with my publics, don't believe that as a CEO that you are in competition with the chairman of your board or with your minister. Each one of us has a role to serve. There's a particular function that we have to serve in our roles over there. And we must understand that our guidance and counsel, as far as our mandate, which is given to us by government, comes through our minister.
Nazir Ali, thank you very much for talking to us.
My pleasure, Tim. Thank you very much.